Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. And today I am not showing you any Age 2 play. There's going to be no rushing, nothing like that. We are going to be looking at the FF, the Fast Fortress strategy, and in particular for the Chinese. And I'm hoping after this video, you guys are going to take this, you're going to run with it, and you're going to be jumping on the ladder, and you are going to be as enthusiastic and confident as I was right here. I'm gonna fucking shit on this guy's face. Metaphorically, of course. Right, ladies and gents, let's get stuck into this. So we're going to be covering the Fast Fortress. There's two types of Fast Fortressing. One is the naked, one is the semi. The naked basically means that you've got to get from Age 2 to Age 3 as quickly as you can. And that basically means most of the time getting a 700 or 600 gold shipment the minute you get into Age 2 so that you can immediately have that macro, the 1200 food and the 800 gold to get into Age 3. The semi-FF, which is a semi-fast fortress, is very similar, but you delay it slightly so that you can either harass your enemy with raids or you can build up some eco behind before you get into Age 3. So we're going to be focusing on the naked FF for this sort of video because I think it's really strong for China. So let's have a look at the deck and let's get straight into it. So the deck, you're going to see it somewhere around this screen, not too sure where, but you're going to be seeing a 1v1 ranked competitive deck that I suggest you use. China has had a recent update, which I sort of covered a few videos back, which give them 9 new home city cards, and we are going to be using a couple of those, and one of them is going to be very crucial at the start. So try and use this deck if you can. If you want to try and play them competitively, I suggest you do this for a 1v1 basis. I'm not going to be covering team. I'm not going to be covering any sort of water play. This is just a solid 1v1 land deck, which is going to be, you know, most of the time you're going to be using this deck. Okay, so first thing you do when you load up the game, you want to be collecting your first crates that you start with on the floor. Then the next thing you want to be doing is splitting your villagers. So 3 of them go straight to wood, the other 3 go to food. And then the best thing to do is send your explorer to the nearest TP line because we want to get the TP down, the trade post down as soon as possible. Now, if you're on a map that doesn't have a normal trade post and either has a native one, then the best thing that I can suggest is that you build 2 villages instead and you roll with that. So if you don't have a TP available, do 2 villages. If you do, build that TP first. That's the first thing that you should build with your explorer. And then the second thing is those 3 villagers that are chopping wood should enable you to then finally build your village, which will be for 180 wood. Then basically it's pretty straightforward until you get into Age 2. All you need to do is you just need to focus on food. Make sure you get that food in. You use your explorer to go around and secure treasures. I really sort of recommend either getting food or wood. Food as priority, so it helps you age up even quicker, because remember, we're doing the naked FF, so we are really sacrificing a lot of our economy to get into Age 3 as quickly as possible. So food is really, really crucial. And of course, as you're training those villagers, make sure you're sort of herding your hunts towards the TC, because you're going to have to play really defensive. You know, your opponent might want to raid you. They might want to try and push you in Age 2. So make sure that you've got your herds as close to your TC as possible. So what's your first card going to be? Your first card is going to be the Northern Refugees. This is going to muster 1 villager. That's it. Yeah, 1 villager from your village, your existing villages, and your TC. So in most cases, you will just get 2 villagers from this. If you don't have the TP or you don't have a TP map, you'll be getting 3 villagers from it. So that'll give you a little bit more of a long-term economic benefit. But as always, I always say, make sure you build your TP. Okay, so the next card, you're going to be able to get this card. If you've secured a TP, you're going to be able to get this card whilst you're still in Age 1, and this is going to be the T export card. This is a brand new card that came with the latest update, and this will mean that you'll be able to get a Travois builder will come out and you'll be able to build your consulate building. Now, there's many ways you can do this. You can select different consulates or you can ally with different countries. I would honestly say that you should go with Russia most of the time. The reason that is because you get a blockhouse very early. That blockhouse can fire, it can shoot at cavalry, it can shoot at units, whatever's trying to raid you. It gives you 5 extra population, and also you don't have to pay for the wood. You know, it comes for free. And you can train all of your banner armies from it as well, so you don't actually need to think about building a second barracks too soon when you finally get into Age 3. There are other options. You can go with the French that can get you some resource crates. It can get you 500 wood when you're in Age 3. You could go for Germany that gets you more trickles. It gets you trickles and it reduces the cost of your banner armies. So there's many ways that you can play it, but I would recommend going with the Russian consulate, and by that time you should be ready, or you should definitely be building your first wonder to get you into Age 2, and that is going to be Summer Palace. And the Summer Palace is a great building because it's massive, it's got 5,000 HP, and it slowly will produce a banner army for you of your choice for free. It does take a while, but the main use of that building is to place it defensively. So once again, you're sort of creating a natural sort of wall around your base to protect you from raiding, any H2 pressure. And that's what I suggest, how you place that, and put 4 villagers on it so that you can get it up as quickly as possible and you can get into Age 2. Okay, so you've got into Age 2. The next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be hitting that 700 gold shipment button as quickly as you can. And what you want to do as you're sort of aging up, try and pull a few of your villagers onto gold so that you are organically mining 300 gold. You want to get exactly 300 gold, and then that 700 that comes in will make the 1,000 for you. So that's going to be 1,200 food and 1,000 gold, which, hey presto, means you can get into Age 3. And when you're ready to do that, you're going to be going for 2 types of wonders here. You can either go for the Confusion, that's not Confusion, that's Confucian Academy, which basically gives you 10 arquebusiers, which are the skirmisher units when you build it, and also it will slowly produce a Flying Crow, which is like a siege unit that can be good at buildings and also units. Or you go for more of an economical building, which is the Porcelain Tower, and that will provide you with a really strong trickle, and you can pick whatever you want, whether it's mixed, whether it's wood, whether it's food, whether it's gold. And there's 2 ways that you can do it, and it all depends on how you want to play, and it all depends on the matchup and what you're doing. So if you've got a lot of pressure from your opponent, maybe they're playing Age 2, I would suggest going for the Confucian Academy. You can get 10 arquebusiers out. That'll really help you push out early if you want to be aggressive. If they're turtling a bit, they're not really doing much, and you can afford to do it, go for the Porcelain Tower. Then I suggest that most of the time you will want to select the wood option. That's going to give you 4 wood a second, which is absolutely amazing. That's going to help you build your villages for population. And trust me, guys, you're going to use population a lot with China. And also it helps you build the market, helps you get eco upgrades later on in the game. So there's 2 ways that you can play it. And then after you've done that, guys, it is just unit shipment after unit shipment. You know, as the deck that I showed you at the start, you can get whatever you want out depending on the situation. You could go 5 meteor hammers, you could go for further arquebusiers, you could go for Changdao, which is the spearmen, you could go for the consulate card as well to get some red guards. And something around the consulate, I suggest that, you know, you switch out of Russia at some point when you get into when you get into the end of Age 2 or start of Age 3, switch out of Russia if you have picked Russia, and maybe go for the Brits. And allying with the Brits will give you an HP boost to all of your military units, and also you can get some really good musketeer redcoats out of them as well as you get into the later game. So that's how you kind of need to play it, you know. And, you know, learning this is difficult because if you play Age 2 like myself a lot, trying to understand how to play FF is very different because you, rather than having a lot of quantity of units, you have higher quality units and you have a lower quantity of them, which means that you kind of need to micro a little bit better. And you really don't want to throw too many fights. You kind of want to just treasure those units and use them as much and as effectively as possible to crush your enemy. So that's pretty much it, wrapped up in a nutshell. I hope you guys like this style of video. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to carry on doing videos like this, but this is just sort of an FF guide, mainly the naked FF guide for China, because I think, you know, it's one of the best strategies for China at the moment. You do have the Age 2 rush option, but to be honest, I think longevity wise, I think in the higher sort of professional area and the sort of top 100 players in the game are sort of defaulting to a good old TP opening, going straight into an FF. And yeah, give this a go because, you know, China doesn't really have much sort of popularity on the ladder. And with these new cards, it definitely shakes them up a little bit. and I really recommend that you give them a go. So guys, if you found this interesting, useful, you know that good stuff, please feel free to drop a like. And of course, let me know down in the comments below if you're going to give this a go. If there's anything you think I've missed out or I need to add, I would really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video or the next stream.